All right, hello, everyone. Super excited to see you on this amazing Tuesday. I hope those of you who came to Mastermind are all refreshed, ready to go. I know I got my good sleep in, so I'm all revived and ready. Super exciting Mastermind. We do have translations on this call, so if you have not been a part of a call where we have translations, you should see a little globe at the bottom. You're able to take that, and if you're English, boom, stay on this channel. Spanish, you can switch the language out, and then you will hear the one and only Senior VP of Global Sales, Hector Contreras. So you will be able to tune in and listen to him as well. So again, while we're waiting just for everybody to tune in, join up, go ahead and drop in where you're tuning in from. So let me switch my chat over because now I know I'm way behind on chat because I try to stay up with you guys and call you out here. So let me scroll back to the top of the chat and see who we have tuning in. We have Florida in the house, Michigan. This is a product that people here at My Daily Choice are very familiar with how it works, the benefits, and we are super excited to be able to put this to use, get this in your hands, and really start pushing this product because it is going to do some amazing things. Most of you are already tuned into the My Daily Choice channels, so I'm sure you're seeing the testimonials already flying in because if you were at Mastermind, there was a group of individuals, probably about 50 if I recall correctly, where we gave out the fuel factor X. So those individuals were able to take the product, put it to use, and already filling up their vehicles, noticing big savings on their gas mileage, the way it runs, everything. So super exciting stuff. So testimonials already rolling in. So we're very excited about that. Hey, Mastermind, it was a great event. So again, just a quick recap on Mastermind. We kicked off Thursday with a fun meet and greet. Friday is when we really got to enjoy each other's company. Had a VIP dinner for those of you qualified. It was great sitting down, seeing each and every one of you. I love events and I love seeing you guys. It's been too long, so it really recharged my battery. I know it recharged many of your battery just to see each and every one of you. Smiles, hugs, photos. It was a great opportunity. And then on Saturday, of course, you guys were able to get that Fuel Factor X in your hands. And many of our European affiliates who were there. So shout out to each and every one of you guys. I know you made it home safe. So we had some Hungarian and Romanians fly in all the way.
We now have the solution, and that solution is Fuel Factor X. So if I can you see my screen share good? Give me a thumbs up, Josh, somebody.
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect. So introducing Fuel Factor X. You can save money on gas. Actually, fuel, it does work in gas or diesel. Drive further and protect the planet. So there's so many variables other than just saving money on fuel that Fuel Factor X will help with. It will enhance the performance of your vehicle as well. So how many of y'all think horsepower is awesome? I'll tell you right now, I spend a lot of money on a tractor that just has 10 more horsepower than one that doesn't, or a truck, or people are spending a lot of money on computer chips and things to enhance their performance. Now you can see a significant increase in horsepower by using Fuel Factor X. It also reduces emissions. I mean, everybody's aware that, we need to do some stuff to start saving the planet and help out with climate change. And most people just aren't willing to spend money to do it, right? Everybody knows it's a problem, but nobody wants to spend money to do it. Now you actually can do it for free. You can make money protecting the planet by using Fuel Factor X. And another big benefit is it will prolong your engine life. Now, once I go through some of the science stuff on this will make more sense. But by lubricating your engine and by taking better care of it, it's going to last longer. And your car is, for most people, is the second largest investment you're ever going to make is your car. You got your house and you got your car, right? So why not make your car last longer, get more miles out of it? And especially now, I don't know if you guys have tried to buy cars recently, but they're not as easy to come by as they used to be. So you may as well be taking care of the ones that you have. And like we've already talked about, it improves fuel economy. So now you can put a few dollars of FFX into your tank, and you can pull back out $10 to $20 depending on your fuel savings. So now you're more than doubling or tripling your money, and you can do all these other things, right? Just in fuel economy alone, you're more than paying for the product. And it, for a lot of you, it might be the best investment you've ever made, unless maybe you bought Bitcoin like in 2006. But doubling your money is pretty powerful. I can tell you, doubling your money is a really good investment. And that's what's so cool about Fuel Factor X, is it helps with all these different things. Now, a lot of questions we get asked: what does FFX work in? It works in cars, trucks, ATVs, motorcycles, generators, boats, heavy equipment, anything that has a combustible engine. FFX will work in and do the same thing, get the same benefits we just talked about. So whether it's a diesel car, whether it's a gas or a diesel truck or a gas car, it doesn't matter. If it burns fuel and has a combustible engine, it will work in it. I've had people send me pictures of a Traco and say, will it work in this? Yes. I've had people send me pictures of their sand rails. Will it work in this? Yes. Anything with fuel, motorcycles, I mean, anything. And I've traveled the world selling this product too. And international stuff's pretty cool, because there's a lot of places that have millions and millions of little motorcycles running around this world. And we can do a lot to help those out. So if you're going to ask me, does it work in this? The answer is yes. Now, what does it do? You don't have to stop using fuel to reduce emissions. You just got to be smart about it. We have an all-in-one solution. This product is so comprehensive, or so concentrated. We get asked all the time, well, how does it work if it's so concentrated? And Josh was just talking about it. It's science. Science is how this works. It actually doesn't increase your octane. Oh, while we're on this subject, let's talk about octane. If you're using a car that you have to buy that expensive 91 octane, all you're doing is buying extra octane through buying the higher octane fuel. If you use this product, you actually increase the available BTUs in the fuel by burning the fuel smarter. You can now drop down to an 89 octane and get better benefit than using the more expensive fuel. So that's a massive benefit. You know, I have a couple of cars in just my personal life, and everybody has these types of things. I have a side-by-side. That's a Can-Am. It's required to have high octane fuel. I don't have to use it no more. My wife's Stinger is required to use high octane fuel. You don't have to use that no more. So just think of the people you know and in your own life that's wasting money, that does not have to do that anymore. It prolongs your engine life and reduces wear. Lubrication is the number one thing that crushes crushes and ruins your engine. If you can keep your engine lubricated, you will get a lot more wear and miles out of that engine. A lot of people always ask, you know, well, 100,000 miles, a car's getting wore out. Well, that's kind of true. But if you look at the diesel world, they last 500,000 miles, maybe even 1,000,000 miles. And that's because there's more lubrication in diesel fuel, so they can last longer. So getting lubrication into your engine is very important. Nobody ever gets educated on this. You just do what you're told, and you rock and roll. But that's another massive benefit to the Fuel Factor X. We've talked about the increase in fuel economy and the reduction of emissions. I believe, you know, we talk all the time about trying to reduce emissions by 5% in America or in the world, or 10%. We could reduce all car emissions and transportation's emissions overnight if all the fuel in the world was treated with FFX by a third. And this information we're giving you, excuse me, is not new, right? There's been so much science and testing done on this product, over 30 years worth. Josh and I and so many others on this call have been personally using and selling this product for almost a decade and a half, 14 years. 14 years. I've saved hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in fuel. And if you add on to what I've been able to do by prolonging my engine lives, and all the other benefits. It's millions of dollars in my life, and by using this product. So I'm so excited you guys all have the opportunity to see the benefits for yourselves, because it's just an incredible product. So here's the meat and potatoes of it, as we say in the cowboy world, or nuts and bolts. An organometallic compound. This is what is the most relevant part of this. Is what makes the magic happen, if you will. This is what really gives the product its go. So I want you to think about the size of a quarter. You know, a quarter is about that big around, right? Let's say that's the size of your fuel cell. By scientifically modifying the size of the fuel cell to the size of a dime, it ignites sooner. I mean, if you think about, if you're lighting a fire, right? Do you go find the biggest log you can find and put that on the fire first? Or do you start with kindling, which is smaller, and work your way up to bigger? Well, you use the smaller stuff because it ignites easier. That's all we're doing with the fuel. We're making a fuel cell, when it comes into the combustion chamber, smaller, so it ignites sooner. And it actually ignites at a lower temperature. So by lowering the temperature of where the fuel ignites, it creates a longer burn. And by creating a longer burn, there is less wasted fuel to go out the tailpipe. That's the science. There's a lot to it, but I'm trying to keep it really simple, because I don't want you to feel like you have to become an expert to sell this product. So we're not getting super technical, because I think all you really need is enough information to feel comfortable about how the product works. And you can really go do some incredible things with Fuel Factor X. Again, the lubricants, it reduces friction from pistons, pumps, injectors, everything on the top end of your engine, and will extend the life of your engine. Detergents, this is a big one too, because a lot of people spend a ton of money on a fuel injector cleaner. You know, it's actually recommended use a fuel injector cleaner every 10 or 20,000 miles just to clean out your fuel system, because fuel's not clean and you need to clean that out. And a clean home's a happy home. So making sure your engine's clean, it'll be a lot happier and run at peak performance as well. There's polymerization retardants in it, which helps with keeping sludge out of the fuel. If you have some bulk storage tanks, if you have a 1,000-gallon tank outside your house like I do, there's a lot of people on here that have farms or construction companies. You can now treat your entire tank, and all the stuff that you get in the tank. Now this breaks that sludge down, so it's not plugging your filters and different things from bulk storage issues. Rust and corrosion inhibitors, it removes and prevents rust in the fuel system as well as your tanks. That's another important thing for people that store any amount of fuel. And it demulsifies. I mean, how many of you have ever had a diesel engine and you get that water in light fuel on your dash come on, or you figure out you got water in your fuel and you're draining your tanks? Now you can just, by using FFX, it keeps the condensation from happening in the tank, and it will actually separate and remove the water from the fuel. And it's also a fuel stabilizer. So, I mean, a lot of times if you're doing it right, when you put your lawnmowers away or your motorcycles away for winter, and you're supposed to drain the fuel out, because fuel will go bad sitting. Or if you have a storage tank again, and that fuel sits for a long period of time, that fuel will go bad, and you got to drain it, and it's a waste of money. You can stabilize fuel for up to 20 years using Fuel Factor X, so that when you pull the trigger on your nozzle and you put it in your vehicle, it's still going to be fuel, and it's still going to operate at peak performance. Now, this is what really makes our product different. I just shared with you about fuel injector cleaners and detergents and stabilizers. And if you look at this picture, you would have to go into a gas station. I've been asked this like 150 times. Well, you can buy fuel treatments at a gas station. Why is ours better? Well, if you go into a gas station, you need to buy every one of these products you see on the right of this slide and dump them all into your tank to get the benefit of what a quarter of an ounce of Fuel Factor X will do. So you're gonna go spend $70 to $80 on fuel treatments, put them all into your tank for what you can get done with just a few bucks of Fuel Factor X. And it's again, it is science, and the science is what makes it work. But just having this analogy alone takes all the science out of it, right? This is what really sets us apart. everybody knows fuel treatments work. The fuel treatment industry is massive, but nobody has it where you can get all the benefits in one single dose like Fuel Factor X does. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to give you all a little tidbit on what to expect and what you need to tell people to expect when using Fuel Factor X. The first thing you need to understand is you need to double dose the first 2 or 3 tanks. So when you first introduce Fuel Factor X to a new engine that hasn't been on it before, double dose. And the treat ratio of this is 1 to 10,000. The ratio is 1 to 10,000. That's crazy, isn't it? But because it's science and so effective, it's the organometallic. I'm sorry. The organometallic chemistry. That's the word I was looking for. Chemistry is what makes this happen. So here's what to expect when you're talking to people about using Fuel Factor X, because you're going to get a ton of feedback. You're going to have people call and say, wow, I saved 15% the very first tank I put it in. You're going to have people go, well, I didn't really notice a bunch. You're going to have people say, I actually dropped in fuel economy, right? You're going to have people say, oh, I stayed the same. But this graph right here, and they're all telling you the truth. Until you get through a few tanks of double dosing, they're not going to reach optimal performance with this product, because we don't know how many miles is on each vehicle we're sharing this with, right? We don't know how dirty the fuel is. We don't know how much bad gas they've put in that vehicle. So people just be upfront with people and let them know it takes time. What you don't want to do is take one foil pack around and give one foil pack to all your friends and family and tell them to get back with you. You will have people come back and say it worked, but it's important to make sure you're giving people enough to sample to do 2 or 3 double doses on their tank so they can really see the optimization of what Fuel Factor X can offer. All right, frequently asked questions. This has come up a lot. Does FFX affect warranties? No, it does not affect the warranty for a couple of reasons. I know if you open a lot of cars, you open your manual and it says, do not put anything in fuel. Well, first of all, because it's a very minuscule amount, you can't even detect this in fuel. And second of all, there has never been a negative claim on this product, and I've been around it a long time. And third, My Daily Choice does have a general liability policy. If there ever does happen to be an accident, an incident with a product or a claim, we can address that and take care of it. Now, I'm going to hit this again because I just already talked about this, but using XFT, double dose, you need to double dose 2 to 3 tanks. For generators, it recommended 3 to 5 double doses. If fuel's been sitting a long time, but you need to do a little more. And I'm going to give you a hint. I said this on stage, and it's kind of awesome because I've seen social media blow up and people's using Fuel Factor X. When you get your first bottle or your first foil pack, and you go to the gas station, you open your tank and you look at where you fuel your car, you're going to go, how do I get this in there? And it's going to kind of be dumbfounding for a minute because a lot of new cars have a cap over the top of them and you can't get in there. So you can either use a little funnel, or what I do in the most effective way is I just take the nozzle out of the fuel pump. I add my FFX into it and I put it into my tank and just use the nozzle. Then when you pump your fuel, it washes it all in, it mixes miraculously, and you're going to see all the magic happen. I already hit this frequently asked question. The treat ratio is 1 to 10,000, 1 to 5,000 on your first couple of tanks. Let's see. How can I be assured that FFX will not cause my engine to malfunction? History. There has been so many billions of gallons of fuel treated with this product with no negative side effects. I mean, it's just like anything else, right? How do you know that the medication you just got prescribed isn't going to have adverse effects, etc.? You just got to trust where you're getting it from and know that it's got a ton of history. And we have a whole bunch of documentation. I don't know how much we're going to put out there. That's a Josh question, I guess. But there's a ton of information you can get that will just show you all the the track record of this incredible product. We already talked about life expectancy. You know, I've actually seen it personally increase, and this is through testing, increase 30 to 40% of engine life expectancy in some of my heavy equipment and different things. So that's another incredible benefit, especially if you don't like buying cars every year. And we had talked about this too. What if people don't see fuel improvement economy right away? Just make sure they have enough to get through a few tanks, and they will. But I'll be honest with you. You're going to have some amazing feedback come back from using Fuel Factor X. For example, I had somebody tell me, I've heard this one a few times. They use the product, they get back with me a month or two later, and they say, "Hey, Chris, I used it just like you said. I double dosed my first 3 tanks. I've ran 2 tanks since then, and I just don't think it's working." And I say, "Okay, tell me about it." And they'll tell me, "Well, before using the product, when my fuel light would come on, it would take me just under 20 gallons to fill my tank. And I've been using this for a month now, and it's still taking me 20 gallons to fill my tank." Think about that, right? And so it's a lot of this is being patient and walking people through things, but it's not a tank expander. If you got a 20-gallon tank now, you're still going to have a 20-gallon tank, but the difference is the amount of miles that you can cover on that same 20 gallons of fuel. And you can expect a 10 to 20% increase in your fuel economy. Now, I will say this, it's always better to overpromise and underdeliver. So we know that we can save 10 to 20%. I recommend you tell people, don't tell them 20, tell them closer to 10, because here's why. If you tell somebody 20% and they save 19 and a half, they're going to think you're a liar, and they're going to say your product doesn't work. But if you tell them 10% and they save 15, well, now you're way more credible, and you're actually overpromising and under-delivering. So I don't know how much, let's see, what time is it? I think we can do some Q&A stuff once Josh is done here, because he's going to go over pricing now and some different things. But if you have some questions on this, put them in the chat. I'll try to scroll through that chat a little bit and see what I can see. I probably can't even do that while I'm on screen share. But nevertheless, Chris Baum, maybe you can look at some of that, and we can go over some questions you guys all have before we wrap this up. But first, I'm going to turn it back over to our CEO and founder, Josh Swagel. He's going to talk about pricing and different things, and international stuff as well. So Josh.
Okay, so that's going to be our Fuel Factor X. I'm trying to shorten that video so you guys can get all the information that you need and relatively quickly. If you have not ordered with us in the last 3 months, go ahead, put a $10 order in. You do not want to lose your account or your spot when we transfer over. They're supposed to shut down website around 10 o'clock, I believe, our time, and it will not come up until 10 o'clock, probably our time tomorrow. So it's going to be down for about 12 hours. So make sure you get in there really fast, really quick, and get your order done. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me through this, and I'm super excited. This is just one of the products that we are ready to break ground on our new 2.0 program. The ordering process is going to be super easy when we come back in a couple of days. So your customer will be able to go in. They'll be able to sign up easier. They'll be able to do all the things easier. And we will be able to get paid faster. It's going to be great. So, love you, beautiful people. Be blessed. Be safe. And have a wonderful day.